Hey there, Cammy. Are you back home from the funeral already?
Hello there, Aaron. I noticed that you weren't at my husband's funeral despite the fact that you're his mother.
Yes, I really wanted to be there, but I just had so many things going on.
You were too busy to attend your own son's funeral is what you're telling me. Didn't you want to have your last goodbye with him before he was cremated?
Well, I would have liked to, but I feel like there really wouldn't have been a point. I mean, you know that Tom hadn't been talking for some years before he passed away.
But it isn't like you two had a fight and decided not to talk to each other ever again or anything like that, right?
Actually, I suppose you could say something similar happened between us, actually. Tom borrowed money from me and then just moved out to live on his own. Not to mention that he hardly ever called home. He basically abandoned his family and wasn't a good son during his life. So I didn't really see why I should interrupt my busy schedule just to attend the funeral for a person like that.
Well then, why are you even messaging me like this in the first place?
Well, now I'm not so busy, so I think I have the time to head over and see where you're keeping him.
Oh, I see. Well, if you wanted to come and pay your respects, I think that'd be really nice, actually. In fact, I think he would really like it if you did.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'll be coming over to pay my respects. In fact, I'm going to be paying my respects to him every single day.
You're going to visit him every day? Sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we talking about the same things right now?
Well, I mean that as of tomorrow, I am going to be living in your house. So get a room ready for me, thanks.
Sorry, I still don't understand. You want to live with me? Did you mean to say that you were going to be living near me or something? I don't get what you mean by that.
I meant exactly what I said. I'm going to be moving into your house, and you and I are going to be living there together.
So you're really going to move here? But who are all you bringing with you?
Oh, not many people, just me, my husband, and our daughter. That is to say, your sister-in-law.
Hold on just a second. Why are you doing all this? I don't understand.
Well, the house that you're living in right now belonged to Tom, didn't it? So, as his closest blood relatives, we should have a right to live in that house too. There are plenty of mixed-generation houses who a couple takes in one set of parents to live with.
I heard of that happening, but you have a house. Why do you need to move into mine? I mean, why would you put yourself through all this just to share a living space with me?
Well, we actually don't have another house since we sold our old place.
You're not serious, are you? You sold your family home?
You do know that it was my grandfather who built that house, don't you? And that explains why it's rotting and falling apart now. It's not fit for a family to live in. There's leaking when it rains, and the foundations of the house are starting to rot, which is making the house start to slant. Normally, a house like that would never even sell on the market, but we had a family friend willing to buy it for a discounted price. The timing couldn't have been better, though.
So then you really sold your house when you could have just hired someone to repair it.
Repair it? In the state it was in, it would have been cheaper to just buy a new house. We had repair costs for everything wrong with our house quoted at around $200,000. So we just thought that it would be easier to sell it and move into a new place. That is to say, your place. That way it wouldn't cost us anything.
I suppose you have a point there, but even so, this is all happening a bit too suddenly for me.
Well, I am so sorry about that. We just decided to move in with you the other day, you see.
I understand that, but you didn't talk to me about this once before now.
Well, that's because we decided as a family. So anyways, we're going to be arriving tomorrow in the evening, okay? So the least you could do is clean up around the house a little and try to make it look presentable.
Can we just slow down for 1 second? I mean, there's a way to change your mind about this at all?
That's right. We've made our decision and we don't intend on changing it. Besides, you are just Tom's wife. You don't have an actual right to tell us what we can and can't do now that he's gone.
But I'm going to be away at work around the time that you're going to be coming over. I work in the evening.
Well, then just leave a spare key for the house in the mailbox or something, jeez. We've already packed up our things and have been stacking boxes getting ready to load into moving vans. See you soon, Cammy.
Erin, my house is a complete disaster. What did you do to it?
Oh, what do you mean? We're in the unpacking stage right now. Of course things are going to be a little messy.
This isn't what I'm talking about. Please do not just move my furniture and rearrange my rooms without asking me first, okay? And why were my clothes thrown all over the hallway? What is the meaning of that?
We didn't have any other choice. We needed to make room for the rest of our stuff and your things were in the way. It's that simple.
If they were in the way, then the least you could have done would be to gently move them out of the way and then put them back once you're done. You even moved Tom's urn from over the fireplace. Do you really not see anything wrong with this at all?
Oh, please, I just moved it off the ledge where I could have fallen. I'm sure my son's spirit will forgive me for doing so.
And where are the three of you right now? Did you all step out even though the house is a total disaster now?
Well, we were getting tired of all the moving and rearranging, so we went out to eat. We looked up a really good Chinese spot here in town. I think we might be regular here. It's so tasty.
I am so happy you're already setting in well into the neighborhood.
So, anyways, while we're all out eating, would you mind tidying up just a little? I mean, the least you could do is make sure that we have a space to sleep tonight when we get back.
Excuse me? You want me to clean up this mess by myself?
Well, yes. I mean, you're my daughter-in-law, that's your job. It's all thanks to the efforts of my late son that you're even able to live in a house like this. So the least you can do is take care of his family now that he's gone.
But I just got home from work and I'm exhausted.
Oh, you think you're exhausted? We've been moving things all day. If you're looking for pity from us, you've come to the wrong people. Honestly, you really have no idea just how spoiled you are. All you ever do is complain about every little thing.
Erin, please, I do not mind helping you clean up all of this, but I just can't do it by myself. Can you all please finish your meals and come back? I would like some help moving the furniture back as well.
You mean you can't even handle doing that on your own? I wouldn't mind so much about how spoiled you are if you would at least do some work around here. You're still young, so quit complaining.
But I'm complaining about what you all did to my house. Don't you get that? And you were talking about needing to make room for all of us, but this place isn't built to house 4 people. I mean, the place only has 3 rooms.
You're right about that. 4 people is a little bit cramped. I know. How about you move out, and then there should be room for all of us?
You're asking me to move out of my own house?
Why do you keep calling it your house? We all know that Tom was the real owner. And as his closest family, that means that what's his is ours. You have no say in any of this at all. And we are well within our rights to throw you out of the house if we so choose.
What are you talking about? I'm the owner of the house.
Why aren't you out of the house yet? I thought I told you to leave us alone already. My daughter wants her own room and won't quit bugging me about it. All of our problems would be over already if you would just finally leave us in peace. Please, just get out.
So you really are going to try and take my own house away from me then?
Oh, please don't be so dramatic. It isn't nearly that bad. I already told you that we have the right to evict you since this house used to belong to my son. You don't have any room to argue.
And you really want the house so badly that you're willing to do something like this to get it?
It isn't about what we want. It's the fact that we have a legal claim to this house since it belonged to Tom. Now, you're going to leave peacefully and let us get on with our lives or else.
Okay then, if that's really how you feel about it, I guess I'll leave. I was actually thinking about moving away from here anyways.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, get lost and go moving there. We're going to be living in this house from now on, and we don't need you getting in our way all the time.
I already said that I was going to leave. I'll be out of your hair before the day is done. Although I should warn you that Tom didn't leave anything behind. There was no inheritance of his to claim.
Oh, what are you talking about? Of course he had things. He had things like this house.
No, I'm afraid that after all is said and done, when he died with nothing.
I seriously have no idea what you're saying. This doesn't make sense.
Then listen very closely, because I do not want to have to repeat myself. Tom died owning nothing. Do you get it? All his life, he was a horrible man who did nothing but cause trouble for others.
Wait a second, where's this coming from all of a sudden? What is this about, huh?
I mean that my husband, your son, was a horrible man. He used me, took my money, gambled it all away, and ended up in $200,000 of debt.
Hold on a second. Are you telling me when Tom died he was $200,000 in debt? Surely you must mean 20,000 or something like that, right?
I know what I typed, and as soon as he died, banks and debt collectors began reaching out to me looking for their money. When I got the first of these types of letters in the mail, I nearly fainted when I found out just how much in the red Tom was.
But I don't believe it. I mean, $200,000? That's way too much.
Well, believe it or not, it is the facts. I even have the documents to prove all of what I'm telling you is correct.
Why would my son do something so stupid like that? I mean, didn't he know anything about how to use money responsibly?
Well, that is one thing that we can agree on. Your husband is indeed an idiot. Not only that, he was a lazy, no-good, horrible person who buried himself in debt before dying. And now that he's gone, it's his family that is left to clean up his mess.
I see. I had no idea about any of this. But as his wife, you would be the one responsible for all of the debt now. I mean, you said the collectors were trying to get in contact with you, right?
Are you sure that I'm responsible for that? You see, the other day, I submitted my own nullification to inherit anything from Tom.
So you remove yourself from his will entirely?
That's right. So in other words, I'm not carrying any of his dead weight around with me. And while that means that I get nothing from the will, it also means that I don't inherit any of the debt.
But then, who is going to end up taking all of that?
Well, I believe he did specify the three of you as his heirs as well, right? You can get the house, but it also means that you're going to take on the debt.
Well, we want the house, but not all that debt. Can't we just get the house and call it even?
I'm afraid that that is not how it works. If you want to inherit the house, you have to inherit the debt.
Oh, but we're talking about $200,000 here.
That's right. Well, actually, to be accurate, I think it's actually more like $2,100, $6,500.
But that's even more than $200,000.
Sorry, I was doing a little bit of rounding before.
There is no way that we're able to afford something like that.
Oh, come on. I'm sure that this is the three of you combine your efforts that you could pay that off in no time. I mean, you are three capable adults. Surely you can handle that, right? Besides, this is something that you can remember your son through. I know you can pay it off if you try.
But we're still all looking for new jobs right now.
What happened to your old jobs that you all had were working before?
We had to quit those so that we could move all the way out here. Besides, it wasn't exactly as if all three of us had what you would call careers anyways. So there's just no way that we're going to be able to pay back an amount like that.
I see. But what about the money that you got from selling your old house? Surely that must still be around, right?
No, we had to use all of that money to pay for the moving expenses to get to your house.
Wow, it must not have been all that much money then. But I guess you did say that you had to sell your house for cheap.
I don't need to hear that kind of thing from you. Why didn't you ever mention any of this before to us?
I just told you right now. What are you talking about? This wouldn't have even been a problem for you all if you hadn't just decided amongst yourself to move here. When I realized the types of people I was going to be dealing with, I knew it was going to be more simple to just remove myself from the process entirely. The bottom line is that the debt comes with this house and there is no escaping it.
The story has to be a little bit more complicated than that. I mean, if we lose this house, where are we going to live? We don't even have enough money to put yourself in a hotel for very long, and another house is totally out of the question.
Yeah. Well, you might want to take the camping things out of the garage and find a nice bridge to set up shop under. Although I think he hasn't touched the tent since it got torn up in a hailstorm. But a house is a house, right?
How can you talk to us so casually about this? Aren't we all family here? Besides, it's the middle of winter.
Yeah, I know. Feel free to take some of the winter clothes we have in the closet, too. You'll need them.
Of course we're going to need them. We'll freeze to death without them.
Hold on a second. Don't you have a car? Why not just bring a bunch of blankets in there and sleep that way?
You mean that cramped little sports car? How are three fully grown adults supposed to be able to sleep in that? We'll all have to curl up in little balls. That sounds miserable.
I see. Well, at least you have the car. Why not sell it and try to move back into your old house? Sure, it's falling apart and slanted, but it's better than nothing.
We can't. The person that we sold it to said they were going to tear it down. There won't be anywhere for us to go back to. Even if we tried squatting there before the demolition team showed up, we could get in even more financial trouble if we get caught.
Take on $200,000 in debt or live with 2 other people in a tiny car? That's like one of those icebreaker questions asked at a party or something.
This isn't a joke. It's our lives that we're talking about.
Well, either way, you're going to have to make the choice. You're going to have to make a choice. I imagine that you're going to choose not to take on the debt, though. Either way, you have to choose quickly.
How could our son do this to us? That stupid boy, what was he thinking?
Aaron, that's the sanest thing you've said all day.
Cammy, are you there? I have a little favor to ask of you. Is there any way that I could get you to help us out just a little?
Well, it's been a while since I've last heard from you. How have things been going?
Please, we desperately need money. We can't keep going on like this.
Oh my. Well, where are you all right now, and what are you all doing?
We're still living in the house. This damned house our stupid son left us.
So then you chose to take on all that debt?
We didn't have any other choice. We wanted to leave it first, but we couldn't.
Huh? Well, what is that? What brought you back to live there?
After the first week of trying to live and sleep in that car, we were all so sore and uncomfortable. My husband can barely even move now.
Oh my, I suppose spending that much time in such a cramped space really can't be good when your joints are that old. It's like you're living in an airline seat or something.
Well, anyways, that's why we had to go back to the house. We just couldn't stand to live like that anymore.
And it sounds like the choice has been made for you.
We even tried to camp outside a little, but it was so freezing cold we couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the dead of winter over here. I don't blame you for that.
It was either take on the debt or destroy our bodies. We thought about selling the house and putting it towards paying off the debt as well, but we would have to wait until the weather improved before we could even do that.
Sounds to me like you all are trapped there for a while then. Oh, and there was one thing that I forgot to tell you about the house. I'm actually not sure if you'll be able to sell it, actually.
What are you talking about? Why wouldn't we be able to sell the house?
Well, you probably noticed the mountain face that is basically right being behind the house, right? We are just always suffering from landslides coming down the mountain from rainy season or construction. Basically, that house just doesn't have very stable foundations and is constantly at risk of a natural disaster.
You mean that mountain that I'm looking at right outside my window could come down on us at any time?
Well, probably not in winter, unless it snows a whole bunch. I just wish you the best of luck in finding a buyer. Either way, you'll probably only be able to get way less than whatever you thought you originally could. Sell the house if you want. I'm just not sure how much good it will do you, really.
This can't be happening. Why didn't you say anything earlier? We had no idea about any of this. You should have told us.
I really don't think that you would have listened to any word that I said, even if I did say anything.
Maybe so, but you could have at least tried to tell us. You didn't even say anything.
Why would I put that kind of effort into warning the people trying to kick me out of my own house?
Please, you have to do something to help us.
I will not. And I hope that living in that house reminds you every day that you got yourself into this mess. You may think that your son is an idiot for doing what he did, and I would even agree with you. But I also strongly believe that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In the end, Erin and her family stayed in the house and took on the $200,000 of debt. That spring, however, the melting of all the snow on the mountain caused a huge flood that heavily damaged the house. Since they all lacked the money to pay for any kind of insurance, they had to leave their flooded home with nothing in hand. Now, they all live in a tiny apartment, doing their best working multiple jobs. As for me, I returned home to live with my parents for a while. While there, I met up with an old crush of mine and soon we were dating. He's very nice and kind and nothing like Tom was. All I want to do now is forget all about him and start my life over again.
Hey Hey, John. You remember that the job we asked you to do is due today, right? Are you going to be able to finish it in time?
I'm sorry. I don't think I could do it today.
What? And you couldn't tell me that sooner? I feel like you have been slacking off a bit recently. I know I'm your wife, and it's easier for you to not take our company too seriously, but we are still your proper client.
One of my important clients suddenly asked me to do something for them, and that messed up my whole schedule.
That has nothing to do with us, though. And you talk about an important client, but our company probably has the longest relationship with you. You have to value each and every job you get equally. You're going to lose credibility if you keep doing this.
I'm sorry. I promise this won't happen again. I will definitely finish it by tomorrow.
Thank you. You have to understand that I'm in a difficult position. I don't want people to think that I'm cutting you slack because we are married. Please remember that.
Yes, I understand. But your boss likes my illustrative work too, right? I mean, it's not just you?
Well, yeah. But that's a different story from you not meeting the deadline.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Is your schedule that tight right now?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, I can cook supper for us tonight then.
Are you sure? I mean, it is my turn to cook today.
It's okay. I can do it tonight. I think I can finish a bit early today anyways.
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm always relying on you so much.
You don't have to be sorry at all. You would do it for me too, if it were the other way around.
Of course I would, but still. I feel like the amount of work you have to do isn't really fair compared to mine.
Well, you are in a creative field. That requires you to always think about work and use your head even when you're not working. It's not like you have a set time to start and finish your work like I do. Every job is hard in its own way.
I'm so grateful that you chose to be with me, you know? I feel so fortunate to have such an understanding wife supporting me by my side.
What's gotten into you?
Well, actually, there's another reason why my schedule is so tight right now. You know my childhood friend, Rachel?
Yeah? Didn't she move out of state for her husband's work or something?
Yeah, she did. Apparently they're getting a divorce now, and she needed someone to talk to, so we were chatting for a bit.
Is that so? That must be hard on her.
Her husband is unbelievable. Even though he's the one who kept neglecting his family, he lost it completely the moment Rachel started seeing somebody else.
Wait, what? Hold on for a sec. You mean she was having an affair?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But it's all her husband's fault to begin with. Apparently he's been very cold towards her, and even yelling and screaming at her as well.
That's horrible. But still, she should have waited until they broke up. I understand why she would want to have someone to rely on in such a hard situation, but she couldn't have done something before she decided to have an affair?
She wasn't trying to have an affair, you know. It just happened out of the blue.
I'm sure there are people who would understand and support her like you do, but most people would still see it as an affair and judge her because of that.
I know! Her parents wouldn't even let her stay at their place because of it, even though Rachel has no one else to turn to, and she's been a housewife forever up until now. Isn't it horrible?
What about the guy she's seeing? I thought he was supporting her through the divorce.
As it turned out, he was also married. Of course, Rachel didn't know that.
That is a very messed up situation.
I wish I could do something for her, but so far the only thing I could do is to just be there when she needs someone to talk to. I've known her since we were little kids, and that's all I could do for her when she needs help the most. I feel helpless.
I don't think you need to feel helpless. I'm sure having someone to talk to who's also supportive of her is making a big difference for her. I'm sure you are being a big help.
You think so?
I know so. And she has to be the one who decides her future from now on, so You do what you can do to help her for now.
Okay. I'm sorry to have bothered you like this while you're busy at work.
Don't worry about it. I was on my lunch break anyways. You can concentrate on your work for now. You feel better now that you let that all out of your system, right?
Yeah, I should concentrate. I'll make sure to finish your Cockney's project as soon as possible.
Hey, John. Are you out somewhere? I just came home.
Oh, hey, sorry. I'm just on my way home.
Where have you been? You were supposed to be in charge of the supper tonight, but I don't see anything prepared yet.
Yeah, it's okay if I just pick up some takeout tonight? I'll stop by somewhere on my way home.
When are you going to be home?
I'm not sure. I just left, so it'll take me about 40 minutes or so.
That's pretty late. I can whip up something easy for tonight then.
Really? That's great. Thank you.
Did you have a meeting or something?
No. Rachel asked me to see her, actually.
What? Rachel? She came all the way out here?
She got kicked out right after they submitted the divorce papers.
Is that so?
Hey, Miranda. What do you think of us taking her in for a while?
What? I don't know if I like that idea. I feel like things are going in a weird direction.
She doesn't have anyone else to turn to.
Well, I know, but I hardly know her. I know she's your good friend and she means a lot to you, but I don't mean to sound harsh, but she cheated on her husband and therefore got kicked out, right?
I told you she didn't mean for it to happen.
That doesn't matter. She still did it.
My precious friend is in trouble.
I want to help her. I know you do, but it's one thing if she needs to hide away from a domestic violence husband or something, but she's the one who chose to be in this situation. Even if I agreed to let her stay with us, how long are you thinking?
She just needs some time to rest and heal her wounds, and she wants to look for a job.
Right, but I still can't agree with this idea. I'm sorry. I don't care if you help her out financially using your own money, but I want you to separate that from our joint finances.
I can't believe this. I didn't know that you could be so ruthless.
What? You think I'm being ruthless?
Yeah, aren't you? If you can easily ignore someone who desperately needs help.
You are not really making sense.
Think about it. She's good at house chores. Wouldn't she be a great help for us, since we're both busy working and all?
Well, yeah. We are both working, but you work from home, and you have more free time at home than I do. That's why I ask you to help out with the housework.
You are right. I do have more free time. But I think it'll help me work harder if Rachel came to help things out.
I thought your work isn't too busy right now.
If Rachel could do our house chores, I could feel more motivated to work harder on getting new clients.
Shouldn't you do that despite having Rachel around to begin with?
Well, you know, I have been taking on 70% of the house chores and you're only doing 30%. I always feel like I need to cut back on my workload because of that.
You think I'm only doing 30%? I think I'm doing more than that.
No, that's not true at all. You probably don't realize this because you're busy working outside. There are way more small chores to do than you realize.
Well, if you say so, but that doesn't mean I can agree on letting Rachel stay with us.
Why not? I don't see what the big deal is. It's only for the short term.
It is a big deal because I know it's not going to be short term, and I didn't say anything about you supporting her personally. I think I'm being very reasonable already.
We all have to help each other out when someone's in trouble.
I would never ask for such a favor from my friend if I were in her shoes, especially not to a married guy friend. I know she's in trouble, but it's a bit hard to understand.
I never thought you could be so heartless.
I never thought we would disagree on things like this either. Anyways, you have to come up with a different solution for her. Like I said, I'm never going to agree to this.
I have an idea if you're going to be that way.
What do you mean?
I think I'm going to stay out a bit longer tonight. I'm worried about Rachel. You could go ahead and eat supper by yourself.
Wait, John, are you planning on staying out for the night?
I don't want to be with someone who doesn't have a heart.
Hey, John, do you mind elaborating on this? Aren't you being too selfish?
You mean about how I brought Rachel home?
We talked about this. I don't want her staying with us.
I can't help it. She has nowhere else to go.
Have you even looked into the details on a woman's shelter? I heard that they help support women in these types of situations.
Why does she have to go to a shelter when she could stay with us? She could never relax in a place like that.
I know she's already here, and I can't suddenly kick her out or anything. But she has to find somewhere else to stay this week. I can't wait longer than that.
How can you say such a horrible thing? Do you realize how badly hurt she is?
I don't know the details of what happened between Rachel and her husband, and yeah, maybe it was her husband's fault like you say. But I still think she put herself in this situation herself. She should have asked for a divorce before she finds someone else. Then her parents wouldn't have cut her off like that.
What's the point of talking about what's already done?
Well, I know you can't change the past, but that doesn't mean you should do something I don't appreciate.
Miranda, have a heart. Rachel and I grew up together, so she's like family. Maybe for other people it seems like she made a bad mistake, but I want to be on her side even in that case.
I get where you're coming from, I really do. But you can't ignore my feelings like this. I'm sorry, but I still can't let her stay with us.
You still don't get it? I would consider getting a divorce if you keep acting this way.
What?
I'm that determined.
Oh, is that so? I didn't think you would bring up a divorce. You can do whatever you like then. But you should probably worry about yourself since you just lost your job.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that there's no reason for my company to give you any more business ever again.
That's oppressive!
Who's being oppressive? Aren't you the one who's threatening divorce to get what you want?
But divorce and work are completely separate matters.
You have to understand that I give work to any illustrator that happens to be available. And I choose you only because you're my husband. Our company can always pick other illustrators to work with. You only got this work because you had me as a connection.
You're threatening me.
It's not like we have a long-term contract or anything. You could try suing us if you'd like, but I doubt you would be able to win.
I only want to help Rachel. I can't just leave her all alone when she's in trouble.
I have been having a difficult time understanding your selfish behaviors anyways. I mean, should there be any other person who's more important than a husband's wife?
Hey, Miranda, are you still not coming home?
Is it Rachel there?
Well, yeah.
It's been a week, as we promised. The fact that you still have her there means you decided to prioritize her, right?
No, that's not the case. I was going to ask her to leave, but she was really down from what she went through, so...
So?
I'm sorry.
Saying sorry doesn't change anything.
Miranda, please. I want you to come home.
What makes you think that I would? In fact, I'm going to come by just to pick up my stuff. One of my colleagues helped me find a new place.
What? A new place?
Yeah, we are getting a divorce, aren't we? I'm going to need a new place to live.
I didn't mean that seriously.
So, you only said it to threaten me? That's even worse. Either way, that really disappointed me and made it easy for me to contemplate divorcing you.
Hold on a second. I don't want to get a divorce.
Do you even understand what's causing the situation we are in right now?
Please, I'll do anything. I will get more clients without completely relying on you. I'll make sure to pay any expenses related to Rachel.
Are you still talking about Rachel?
Well, because if I don't help her, she's...
Well, You can live happily ever after with Rachel then. I will stop by with all the paperwork we need for a divorce within the next few days or so.
No, I don't want to break up.
What? Aren't you the one who brought up divorce to begin with?
I told you I didn't mean it seriously.
That was something you should have never said. I can't stay married to someone who uses the divorce card so lightly, just as a tool to threaten me.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
I'm way past the point where I would even consider forgiving you. And are you so blind that you can't even see how Rachel is just using you? What kind of woman cheats on her husband, gets dumped because of that, and also gets dumped by the guy she cheated with, and then ask her married guy friend to take her in after that?
She was just in shock from the divorce.
She's just refusing to take any responsibility for anything she did. Why do I have to provide support for a woman like that? She thinks she can just mooch off of people to survive, even if it means she's breaking up the other family. She wouldn't do that if she had any common sense. She knows that she caused us all these relationship issues and still has the nerve to stay in our house.
Don't say it like that. I'm sure she's just trying her hardest to overcome the situation.
I'm trying my hardest to overcome the situation too. Would you have cared about me more if I showed that I was hurt and heartbroken more obviously like she did? I was trying to work and live my life as per my usual self, but I was hurt.
I'm sorry.
It's too late for any apologies.
Okay, I'm going to ask Rachel to leave. Al will try to keep you away from all her troubles from now on. Does that sound good? Would you forgive me then?
Definitely not. The person I'm upset about the most is not Rachel. It's you.
I promise to listen to you about everything from now on. Please don't abandon me. How am I supposed to live without you?
I thought you said you were going to work harder to earn more? You can work hard and make enough money to provide for Rachel. Also, we always said we would both do the house chores equally, but I always have had to do more. Even for your job, you can never meet the deadlines and always ask me for help in the end. I have always supported you because you're my husband. But this was asking way too much, even for you.
I'm sorry. I'll make sure Rachel leaves. Miranda, I'm really sorry. I was taking you for granted. I was getting too selfish and wasn't thinking about you at all.
Too little, too late. I can't forgive you even if I wanted to, because apparently I don't even have a heart, right? You'll have to excuse me on that.
You're not heartless. You always cared for and thought about me.
You do remember you were the one who said those things to me, right? But I think you were the real heartless one here, because you chose to care more about another woman rather than someone who supported you by your side all these years. After that, I was able to divorce him. My ex-husband kept fighting for a while to try to avoid divorce. But in the end, he wasn't able to make Rachel leave and realized he had no right to fight the divorce as a result. He also had to give up his job as a freelancer and start working for some company to pay for the rent. He was just barely making ends meet, and apparently, he wasn't happy with Rachel for not doing anything all day at home, and they kept fighting with each other. In the end, Rachel met somebody else and left him. He finally realized who Rachel truly is after that, and he told her parents about the whole situation and where she is right now. Apparently, he completely cut off any relationship he had with her and regrets everything. I found out all of this from a letter he wrote me through our lawyers. But the only thing I thought after reading his letter was how stupid he is. I don't regret anything. It's nothing to do with me, even if he is regretting everything he did. I don't think we will ever get back together ever again. Since we got divorced, I was able to focus more on my work, and I'm really enjoying my single life. And my life got so much easier as well. John claimed that he was doing more house chores, but it was obvious that I was taking on more. I always had to deal with all the dishes and the laundry that he left out every night after I came home from work. But now that I'm alone, I only have to take care of myself. And I don't feel any unnecessary stress. And yes, maybe Rachel triggered this, but I feel like we would have broken up sooner or later anyways. I had chosen to support him and his career, but I learned that there is a limit to that. I don't have any time or space to heal my wound like Rachel did, but I have my family, friends, and coworkers who care about me. I will work hard for my career and remember to spoil myself from time to time, and completely forget about this nightmare and move on to find my own happiness again.
Mia, I have a little favor to ask of you tomorrow. I need you to take me somewhere in the car just after noon.
Hi, Agatha. It's nice to hear from you. I'm really sorry. I have plans tomorrow afternoon, so I won't be able to do that. I'll be free in the evening, so how about I come and pick you up then?
Plans? What on earth is a stay-at-home housewife doing making plans?
Yes, I have plans.
Well, in that case, you'll postpone those plans until next week. My shopping trip is far more important than anything you could have going on in your life.
You want me to take you out shopping?
That's right. I won a gift voucher at the last neighborhood watch meeting. Things this exciting never usually happen to me, so I thought I'd make the most of it and head over to the shopping mall that recently got built in Peepstown.
Those vouchers are usually valid for quite a long time. Have you checked the small print on the back? Besides, Peepstown is a 2-hour drive. I'm happy to take you, but I can't do it tomorrow. Can we take a rain check?
No, I want to go tomorrow. I usually never win at these things. I've got a spring in my step and I want to claim my prize while the excitement is still fresh in my mind. You understand that, don't you?
Sure I do, but... Look, Agatha, I'd love to take you, but I just can't. I'm really sorry. I'll take you another time, I promise.
Oh dear Mia, how very disappointing. Whatever are we going to do with you? Did you forget what I told you? I hope you haven't forgotten how lucky a poverty-stricken high school dropout like you is to be married to my high-earning Harvard graduate like my son. In spite of your unfortunate background, in my infinite kindness, I said I'd be willing to acknowledge your marriage if you worked your very hardest to win my approval. Did you forget?
No, I didn't forget.
Me and you are going to drift further and further apart if you continue to refuse to help me when I need you to. Is that what you want?
Agatha, please. I mean this with the utmost respect. But just because I want to win your approval doesn't mean I'll do whatever you ask me to at a moment's notice, sacrificing my personal life in the process. I want you to acknowledge me as your son's wife, not your chauffeur.
Don't get an attitude with me, young lady. Your suitability as my son's wife is exactly what I'm asking you to prove to me. If making him happy was your #1 priority, you'd do whatever it took to contribute to the well-being of the family as a whole, not just affairs within your own home. Supporting your mother-in-law is supporting your husband.